Howdy everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a new video. So this video we are going to be reassembling said RD28. So we've had a really good inspection over this cylinder head and we've found no cracks. We've looked at the block and found no cracks in the deck. My big suspicion into why it was getting hot was the cylinder head lifted, because when I undid the head stud, some of them went tight. My radiator has always been really odd in that, so that's another suspicion. The water never got milky, it never lost coolant, never lost oil. So it's always just been sort of a suspicious thing. We've cleaned this head and had a good look at it. Nothing. Could be a hairline crack somewhere. Bit of chemi weld will fix that. But this engine is only going to be very temporary because we are putting an LS1 in this. But I just thought, stuff it, I've got some spare time. Not working the RX-7 at the moment, so I thought I'd muck around with the Patrol for a bit, try and get it running so I can go to the bush a couple more times before I actually blow this thing to smithereens. So yeah, as a disclaimer, obviously the LS1 swap is still going away. Still saving for that Marks kit, so don't worry. I actually spoke to a bloke last night that had a full LS1 conversion, and we had a good chat and I know a lot of inside information, so I have a bit more of a clearer mind going into the build. So yeah, I'm going to hit this block deck with a bit of wet sand, or wet sand I'll just use WD-40 as a compound, and then sand it with some 1000. I've got 800, hit it with 800 and 1000. I've also done the head already and just cleaned the surface here. This was only done 6 months ago. This a bit longer, maybe 7-8 months, this head, so everything's pretty clean. The only thing that sort of was on there was a bit of copper spray from the gasket. So on the left here we have the reused metal multi-layer steel head gasket that was in there. Now I could reuse this again, but it's been used a few times. You can still see the copper spray. It's been on there, it's done its job. This is probably a better option for long term, but I have a brand new OEM just normal head gasket for it here, so I'm going to put that in. Same time, metal head gasket would always be the way, but yeah, I would rather put the OEM one in it with some copper spray. That way we have a nice seal, and if this gasket has any imperfections that the copper spray might not be able to cope with, that's all right, that's fine, I don't really care about that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the new OEM gasket. It is paper gasket over the metal gasket, but I'm not gonna reuse it. We'll do this. If it blows, it blows. Bad luck. Let's get into doing this. I'm gonna clean that block deck up and we'll get into putting this thing back together. All right, so let's get into the gist of things. So took the radiator out. Let's have a look at that. She's got some mud in her. I always hit this thing with a gurney and it's still completely blocked with mud. Look at that, just comes out. So that's out. I'm gonna be replacing that with a OEM factory radiator because I'd never trusted these things. Ever since I've had it, I've always had cooling issues. Not saying it's a radiator, but I just don't trust it. So I just started sanding the block. Just first pass over it, so it's actually coming out quite nice. That is all good. I'm gonna hit it a couple more times to get it nice and clean, sit the head gasket on after we copper spray it, which I'm actually gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna check this gasket first for any imperfections out of the manufacturer. It looks to be okay. And then we'll sit this on the dowels, on the block, and then Bob's your auntie's cousin's daughter. All right, let's just layer some of this beautiful stuff on nice and gently, do a haze coat, cover the top, and then as soon as we get to a point where it's nice and covered, let it dry, flip it over to the other side. So I also forgot to mention that I took all the injectors out. They're all really carbonated at the bottom, actually pretty substantially, so I just use a really fine brush just to get all that stuff off and clean the injectors up. There has all brand new seals in them, especially on the spill rail here, but we've got all new injector seals and nozzle seals and everything in there. Took the rail off and gave the rail a good sand. All the points are sanded, so it should get a nice glow. Apart from that, that's all I've really done to the head, and apart from cleaning the actual deck. I was gonna go over and clean the combustion chamber, but you know, it's barely anything on there because it was off. It's a brand new head, so was a brand new head. Okay guys, so my main challenge for this little job I have here is to try and get the car running and driving for a bit longer for under $100. So over here we have brand new head studs. They were 26 bucks, so pretty cheap for a diesel. And I'm going to be buying an OEM radiator for around the $50 to $60. So I'm going to try to keep it under $100. I haven't really spent anything else at all. I already had the copper spray, already had the brand new gasket from a long time ago. That's the brand new gasket, not that one. And I haven't spent money on anything else. I've already got silicone in there so I can do all the seals. I've got the intake gasket over there. So everything's ready to go. Also, I'm just going to try and keep it as budget as possible. If this engine starts to throwing money at this engine, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I've thrown too much money at it in the past. It'll just get me more hyped to do the LS swap, which I know all of you really, really want. But don't worry, like I said, it's coming. it's coming. Yeah. But in all seriousness, I'm just going to try and get everything on the side for it. Already got the engine, like I said, I'm going to get the gearbox on the side, I'm going to get the conversion kit. Once everything's together, bang, it goes in. So enough crapping on, and let's get this head gasket sitting on the block. I was going to clean the block one more time over. I've got the air gun set up over there, blow it out, get all the crap out of it, go over with some paper towels, clean all the cylinders and everything, and then we'll sit the head gasket on top and get the head ready to go on. All right guys, so I got the head there ready to go. Got the head gasket sitting on there, so that's all being copper sprayed, that's dried off a bit, and got it sitting on the dowels. I'm just going to give the head one more clean underneath, make sure it's all spotless before it goes on, and then we'll sit the head on, and hopefully that's the last of that. So wish me luck. It's going to be a pain in the ass doing it on my own, but at the same time, I got it off pretty much. Josh was here to help me, but pulling the head off pretty much by myself until I got into the radiator support wheel. So yeah, let's hopefully get this head on with minimal issues, and I want to try and get it on and sitting on there instead of sliding it and ruining that copper spray. And then we'll sit the brand new head studs in there and bang it in. So let's do it. Alright everyone, I am absolutely exhausted. The head has been torqued on. So first thing you got to do is 24 foot-pound torque setting from the middle, work your way out on both sides. Come over it again with 80 foot-pound. You back them all off, and then go over it again, 24 foot-pound, and then 87 to 90. I did them at 90. So they're all set to go. So the head shouldn't lift at all, but should be good. Also, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my good friend Josh, who was in the last video. You would have seen me putting the cylinder head, or taking the cylinder head off. So he's lent me his torque wrench, and yeah, appreciate it heaps, mate, and thank you for helping me. I'll put his link to his Instagram and his YouTube in the description of this video. So thank you again, Joshy boy, you helped me out a lot. All right, everyone, so I have run out of daylight, as you can see. Got the old poo tray over there, got to clean up, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll put it all together, and may even hopefully be able to turn the key tomorrow and see if it starts. So at least this will give it time overnight to sort of sit the head on there, and it'll copper spray will do what it's supposed to do, and all you could hear it crunch down as I was talking it, so it's obviously doing its thing. But yeah, we'll be back with you tomorrow, and we'll put this thing back together, and hopefully it runs. So see you then. Alrighty guys, so it is the next day. I'll show you where we left off. So you can see we have the head bolted on. I got the injectors just wound on there. Got the exhaust manifold on there, just got to bolt up the intake, which I've got sitting next to me here. It's also they're coming together again. Got all the plugs plugged into the side of the head over there, and I just got to do a glow plug, rail plug. Then I'm going to put the rod cover on, put the intake manifold on, timing belt, just slowly slap everything up. This radiator is completely clogged, so that could have been another reason why I was overheating. I wouldn't be freaking surprised if that was the whole reason I was overheating the entire time. So I put the timing belt on. I'm going to make sure that we have this little notch here on the pump pointing towards the notch here on the timing cover. Same with the cam gear, that notch there, and on the crank, which we haven't touched, the timing mark will be pointing that way. Well, sorry, will be pointing that way, and the keyway will be right on the bottom. One thing I hate about these engines too is they are keyway crank. If that loosens off that balancer, it'll take the crank end off with it and destroy the crank, so you gotta put another crank in it. It's one thing that's a bit of a downfall with these engines. Just make sure that's tight. I've put a brand new bolt from Nissan in that and a bit of Loctite, so about 130 foot-pounds of torque, I think it is, something ridiculous, so you won't be losing that anytime soon. All right, so let's get putting this intake manifold on, which takes a bit of time because it's a pain in the ass. We start buttoning up the rest. Cool, so that intake manifold is bolted on. So to line these rock covers up is a bit odd because they got this little lobe here that drives a vacuum pump. So the cam rides on that. So when you put it on, you sort of got to push that spring down So it's a bit weird, but. Alrighty, so a few things have been done. So we have put the front timing cover on with the timing belt all done up. Also got the cooler line at the back that runs to the back of the head for the water drain, whatever it is. I don't think it's a factory, it's a thing that was put on this head when it was done. Did some of the vacuum lines up the back there. Manifolds all tight, you saw that. So now we're just going to work on the front here, do all this, and also all the turbo plumbing on this side. I've got the radiator over here, like I said, I'm going to blow that out. Got the fan, the belts. Just do one thing by bit by bit. I might not get started today because I'm going to be running out of daylight very soon. I don't want to film this at night. We'll try and smash it out as much as we can, and then first thing tomorrow we'll come back and try and get the thing running. Now the battery is dead as a doornail, so I haven't got a charger. So to start it, I might have to jump it off the 180 or one of the other cars. We'll see how we go. Also, I didn't say before that I found out my airbox, one of the clips broke, so it had a gap, just a little gap there, and it actually brought in a lot of mud and dirt, which I didn't realize. And so I blew that filter out, and my god, the amount of shit that came out that filter was unbelievable. So that was pretty blocked, which wouldn't have been helping the car breathe. The radiator was blocked, which wouldn't have been helping the car breathe. So hopefully just cleaning everything and fixing everything will help this car breathe a bit better, and I can save this engine just for a little bit longer, and then we can put something better in it. Let's get cracking on the rest of this. Well, I've run out of daylight again. And the funny thing is about this one is that I'm not far off getting started. So all the cold side is on, so that went on pretty well. Just been taking my time with it. So I'm sorry if I'm not covering it really in depth, as I don't want to, that's not really my point of the video. I just want to cover just the basics and then show you it hopefully running. But yeah, I've unfortunately run out of time today. I am absolutely covered, mud, everything, dirt, just disgusting. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow we're going to get this thing running and started and maybe do a skid. So we'll see how we go. So we'll see you tomorrow. Okay guys, so it is day number 3 now. So 3 days in on this beloved project. I just woke up, so hopefully we have enough time to smash this out. So in front of me I have said intercooler, the fan shroud, this thingamajiggy, what's it called, radiator, and fan and belts here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slip the radiator in. I spend about half an hour hosing this out. It's still dirty, but all the mud is out of it. There's so much mud in it, so degreased it as well. Go put this intercooler on, which takes like 2 seconds, but then I've got to slip the belt on, and hopefully the battery's dead, so I'm going to probably jump start it with the 180, and fingers crossed it starts. So let's get into doing that now. Right, so set the rad in there. Thought I recorded it, so sorry guys. I thought I pressed record, but it didn't record. Got the belts on in there. Just got to tighten that down, tighten the alternator back up. Put the fan on, shroud. Do these hoses up, top and bottom. Bang, we're ready to go. So getting close, getting close. Oh, and the intercooler of course, but that takes like literally 2 seconds. Let's keep going, we're nearly there. Okay guys, so I skipped over all the bullshit. It's all back together. I didn't put the shroud in straight away, I'll put that in later. I just want to see if it runs. There's no water or anything in it, so we just want to see if it cranks over. I'm gonna have to start the 180 and jump start it off that, and then I'm just gonna prime the diesel pump a bit, get some diesel into the injectors, glow it a couple of times, and we'll give it a hit and see what happens. Okay guys, so I really apologize. Yesterday I went to jump start off the 180, and because this battery isn't the best as well, because the car's been sitting so long, it just wasn't enough power to jump start this, as this thing is dead as a doornail. So I got my friend's charger, which I've charged it overnight. I'm going to put the battery in. I'm actually going to put the fan shroud wherever I put it. I don't even know where the hell I put it. Put the fan shroud in now, and then I'm going to put some water in it, and we're going to try to get it going. Fingers crossed. It is a cold day. This thing hates starting on cold starts. I don't know why, but yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Come on. All right, guys, moment of truth. So put the battery in and put some coolant in it, or not coolant, water. So hopefully that's going to get us enough to start it. It is a very cold day, so sometimes this thing does not like to start cold days. So I'm going to give the pump a bit of a prime, grab the keys for it, wherever the hell I put those. We're going to crank it, and I'm going to glow it about 3-4 times and then hit the key. So fingers crossed it runs. Alright guys, so unfortunately the RD does not want to run. It's doing the exact same thing that it did last time when it wouldn't start, so something is going on and I can't be bothered putting money into it. It cost me $26 to put the head studs back in it, so I'm not out for a huge loss. Other than that, I know that all you guys are excited because now you know it's time for the LS1. It's gonna be a lot sooner than I thought, so that's the plan. So unfortunately couldn't get old Bertha running, but oh well, gives us more of a kick in the ass to do this LS. So here's the old girl here. So I'm going to start tearing this thing down soon. By tearing it down I mean like all the belts. I'm going to put a new water pump, new oil pump, all the accessories I need, and also I got to do the sump because the sump has a bit of a split in it at the bottom, so I got to fix that when the engine will sit on the ground. Get all new gaskets for it and just treat her with as much respect as possible. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you stuck around, unfortunately couldn't get it running, and I'm really sorry I couldn't get it running. I tried all weekend, but you know, just gonna stay optimistic about these kind of things. You know, I'm not gonna beat myself down about it. Shit like this happens. So we're gonna build a better, bigger and better four-wheel drive now, so I'm very excited. Shut up, you fucking idiots. Unfortunately we couldn't get this thing running, like I said. So thank you all for watching, and if you could like this video, subscribe, all the whatnot, comment, that would mean a lot to me. If you want to see more of the four-wheel drive build, stick around, as the LS is going to happen, and more of this RX-7 and more of the other nuggets I have. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.